What's up, demons and demonettes? It is I, Trexy, Demon Queen, and today we're talking about Mirage Frostspike. But before we get into it, as always, toss a like and subscribe down below. Now, originally I wasn't going to do this video, but I did want to give you guys an early start that would be good for some early teams, because at some point we're going to be switching teams over, and we'll get into that in a little bit, and some more of the strategy involved in that. So let's cover the boss and the teams I'm using right now, and why I'm not worrying exactly about first place at this time. Alright, so. Alright, we can look at the boss abilities. Alright, so he has his ult. He transforms and fires icicles at all enemies, and after a brief charge up, he does a giant laser. His big thing is a frigid verdict, binds an enemy and reduces a portion of their HP. After charging up, deals damage to all enemies on the battlefield and instantly defeats the bound enemy. The binding is lifted if the bound enemy's HP is restored to a specific level, right? So this means that one hero is going to essentially get bound. They're gonna lose HP, and then you kind of have to like make sure they get healed. Now he does target the highest damage dealer for this, so we can kind of control who he goes after. And we'll talk about some issues with that later. Alright, so summons icicle shard, dealing 250 of damage to enemies located an even number of tiles away, and stunning them after 1 second. After the first use, the skill targets enemies located an odd number of tiles away, and then alternates between evens and odds. And then a Frozen Vengeance. This is a big thing to note. Passive, when Mirage Frostspike receives any stat nerfing a debuff, nullifies the debuff and converts it to power into 3 energy masses. Up to 8 energy masses exist on the battlefield at any given time. When used, actively deals 300 damage to the current target and launches all energy masses at the image. So we don't want to use a hero that debuffs the boss, right? There is one hero though that debuffs the boss and does work on this fight and is very good on this fight, but normal debuffers other than this debuffer will not work. So let's go in and let's talk about some formations, and we're going to cover the top 2. Okay, so the number 1 formation, as you guessed it, uses the twins. They are one of the best bossing units in the game right now. Usual suspects, Makola, Odi, Shakir, and Arena are involved as well. We are using the new Blizzard artifact that just got released with the end of the story. So if you finished up your story quest, you should get this. If you've been keeping up with your levels, then you should be able to get to a plus 19. Alright, let's talk about the formation. And we're running Mauler talent tiles here. You can see I'm at 16, but we're going to talk about some other stuff later with the talent tiles. So we're going to run Arena here, Odi here, Shakir, Makola. This is going to be Elijah, and this is going to be Lila. And the reason why we're going to put Elijah here is because this is going to be our Mauler talent tile, and we want to have him ported over to the boss, right? So that's that squad. Now, as I can mention, Odi is going to do the bulk of the damage here with a little bit from Shakir, but you're going to notice he does a ton of damage. We'll talk about that in the next formation. So the next formation uses Arena, Smoky, Makola, Odi, and Valka. Yes, we get Valka involved. She's not a bad option if you don't want to splurge for the twins, or you're not going to be able to build the twins in time for this boss. You could pull and build Valka. Valka is going to probably be an Endless Dream Realm hero. We'll be doing a Valka video shortly. But as you can see, Odi's damage plus Valka's damage doesn't really exceed his damage on the other one. And Shakir's damage as well. So that's just kind of why we're so much further ahead on the other squad. Now we'll take a look at the formation. But again, Maulers. So we got Rainer here, Odi, Smoky, Valka, and Makola. Now, between Makola and Arena, we're able to heal up our Odi for the most part up to full to get past the debuff. Now, on my second account, where I'm a little bit less spend heavy, my Arena isn't built up as much. My Makola isn't built up as much. My twins aren't built up as much. My Shakir's not built up as much. I have issues in keeping Odie alive if I give Odie my extra levels, right? So sometimes you should have your boss killing slot. You want to give your boss killing slot, obviously, to your highest damage dealer. However, if you're on a lighter spend account or you don't have the EX weapons to run the better squads, then I would not give him the extra levels because it's going to be counterproductive. Because what's going to happen, he's going to die. And instead of doing 12 billion damage, you're going to do 500 million. It's awful. It stinks. Don't do it. Alright, so without further ado, let's take a look at the fight in action. So, there's the icicles, there's him transforming. But as you can see, between Rainer and Makola, they have plenty of healing to keep our Odie alive. You can see the laser come out. So essentially, we're not running a debuffer other than Rainer because for whatever reason, Rainer's debuff goes out before his passive can activate. So he gets debuffed the entire fight and doesn't build up the ice shards. So these icicles that you're seeing are just his other ability. I mean, it's pretty repetitive. It's just changing forms and shooting lasers. The only problems you run into is if your heroes are too far spread out. But with Maulers, that shouldn't be too much of an issue. Rainer's close enough that it's not an issue. So we're usually pretty good there. Now, why am I sitting at 4th and why am I not worried about damage on this boss at this time? Typically, these things take about 10 days to kill. Well, that's one factor. Two, the other factor is we're going to go into the double talent tiles, and let's talk about that. So as you can see, in my run, I was talented Mauler. I went back and subsequently respec to Wilder. Why did I respec to Wilder? So that I can push stages more effectively. Because, again, at 9:30, we're going to start to get 50. But the big difference is going to be is that at some point, probably within the next reset or two, we're going to be able to unlock this talent tile, right? So we're going to get double talent tiles. So it's going to change up the formations. Our damage is going to spike. So right now, it's better to just focus on pushing. That's why I'm not running at optimal times around reset to try and get my highest score out of that. Running multiple parses throughout the day to attempt to get that. Or messing with running when I have the higher reso levels. I'm not worried about parsing this early. There's just no point. It's just running, doing enough damage that we get the maximum amount of chests that we can get the 30 chests, get your extra XP, pump that into your heroes so you can push other content, specifically stages, or build up your reso level so that you can unlock this second talent tile. Once we get the second talent tile open, I'll put out a separate video with some updated comps there that will be better for you to run with the double talent tiles because our damage is probably going to spike at this time just from having the extra talent tile. Plus, we'll have this unlocked, the extra skill times 2 effectively, and we'll have the extra energy on hit. So, and we'll have extra levels, so I expect our damage to spike in, like I said, 1 to 2 resets. We have about 2 days left on this. So once we get that, we can do that and put that out. So this is kind of just like a, hey, a run of this now type squad. Don't really particularly worry about getting first at this time because, again, it's all going to change. And that's it for this one. I will catch you in the next one. Bye!